Hi friends, Mindy here. I want to share with you some things today. I have this printable set. This is a freebie from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio. This is, I believe, freebie 13. The next one I'm showing here is freebie number 12. The first one is 4 pages and the second one is 3 pages. And they coordinate with the Winter Collage and Cluster Megapack that she just released within the last week or so. I will say, if you purchased this kit before October 23rd, there was an error in the file that she sent out, and it had a duplicate page number 10, and I believe it was missing page 9. So if you purchased this prior to October 23rd when she corrected that, you can just shoot her an email and she will send you the page that you are missing. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm just going to flip through here really quickly so you can see all of these. It's a 34-page pack. It's chock full of all the things that you would need for some winter journaling, for Christmas journaling, even if you wanted to do that, some winter memory keeping or whatever, just all of your winter type projects. I personally love these colors, so I can see using them in other times as well. But she did have some vintage colors, in colorways in here as well with some of these labels and things. So I love Michelle's printables, that they're various sizes as well. Just makes it, using that project or these pieces in a project, makes it really, really simple because you're not having to resize anything or do anything. You can just find one that fits. So I really love that there are the various sizes in there, and even some blank labels here, some tickets, which are just very versatile, and then some that have just a few kind of winter themed words in those various colors as well. So I also want to remind you that the creative team that she created printables for each of us that were fall themed, and I will try to remember to link mine down in the description box, but those are also still available to you. So Michelle has a lot of freebies that you can take advantage of, and they're beautiful. So I would suggest, clicking on those. Go to the Junk Journal Studio channel. You can see links to all of the other creative team, and you can get a hold of their freebies too if you haven't done that already. Those fall themed printables, are still available to you. So here today, I want to just kind of create some random ephemera. So this is a little bit of a story time. I am in the middle of a really overwhelming reorganization project in my craft space, and everything is a disaster and all over, but I have to create every day, or try to create every day anyway. It just keeps me sane. So I like to create just even a few minutes of something. And so I had all these kind of bits and pieces that I kept finding around my craft space on different surfaces and different places, and just kind of spread around. And so I'm trying to create some ephemera here. So that's really what I'm going to be doing. I'm using a bunch of different things, just creating some random pieces of ephemera. And I am using some vintage paper from the Junk Journal Studio. I'm also, that first card that I created had or this first one, the background on it is actually a clear sticker of a reproduction item that you can get a pack of those stickers from A House of Books. I will put my affiliate link to her down below as well. And then just some random things. So this is like a Tim Holtz ephemera piece, and this is going to be just a journaling card in one of the journals. I found these little grid like journaling cards in my stash as well, and instead of just trying to find a place for them, I thought I will just put these to the side, and I'll just make something useful out of them, so I'm not just kind of shuffling them around my craft space. So anyway, this is a rub-on from 49 in Market that I'm just kind of putting here at the top. I am still very much in the fall. It's still very warm here most days, and the leaves are just now starting to turn, and so I am still very much in the fall, which is why I'm creating with some fall themed things, and why I'm not creating with that beautiful winter Collage and Cluster Megapack, but I will get to that eventually. I promise to do that, but just for today, I'm trying to use up some things that were around my studio, which kind of brings me to a question that I had for you all. I'm really not doing a very good job of narrating what I'm doing in this picture, because really it's just gluing things down and making some different kinds of ephemera, but this is just some paper that I had pulled from a paper pack, to be honest, and instead of trying to rummage through and find the paper pack that it belonged with, I just decided to create something with it instead. So I'm just trying to use up these things, and I can put this in one of the journals that I have that I'm working on right now. But my question is, I have been considering doing some more kind of random ephemera makes like this, or just kind of a what's on my desk, using up what's on my desk at the end of the week or something. That's just a way to kind of clean everything up. I will stop for 1 second to say I do have a process video for how I created that little ephemera holder journal. I will, if I remember, I will try to put that in the link below. But I created that to hold some of these beautiful labels. These are labels from the Junk Journal Studio as well. They're called Labels for Everyday, I believe is the name of them. I can't remember the actual name of the file, but she's got a bunch of different ones. And they're great. There's so many varieties of labels, and they just add a really nice kind of vintage touch. And then I'm using this little thin, super thin washi tape. This is actually Tim Holtz washi tape, just to add a little anchoring piece for this little label here on the side. I cut this into the tag, a tag shape. These little rectangles that like craft colored paper they were just cut-offs of a project that I had done, and they just have been sitting there. I didn't want to throw them away, so I'm just turning them into tags and journaling cards. And then I have this piece of coffee dyed paper that got kind of mangled when I was drying it, and so I'm just using this to back another little ephemera piece. This is actually a 49 in Market piece, and it looks like a little postcard. I'm adding this other little ephemera piece. This is actually something I created with a Tim Holtz stamp on some like self-adhesive, like shipping tape. And I had created a bunch of that a while ago. And then I have this sheet of 49 in Market rub-ons that I'm trying to use up. So I took this one, and I really should have done this before I glued that other piece down, but I hadn't thought of it at that moment. So I just trimmed it down. So I'm making it look like it's coming out from behind that label. Just rubbing that with my bone folder there to get everything on there. And then I'm taking that other little piece that I had, that little scrap that was the bottom section that I cut off, and because I don't like to waste things, so I'm going to affix that to the left side over there the same way. I'm using a bone folder, but you could use, a lot of times rub-ons will come with like a popsicle stick type thing or something like that. So and then this paper is some vintage paper from, I want to say it was like 1910, from a glass company, and I got this in my kit from a House of Books as well. And so I want to save this just beautiful handwriting, and so I'm using one of those little squares, those little rectangles, and I'm just going to make a journaling card out of this. So I put some vintage ledger kind of on the left side, and then I'm putting the bulk of this on the right. And it's kind of pained me because I loved both sides of this paper so much, but I really just kind of wanted to keep that with that beautiful signature and everything on there. And so I had this other little piece that was, I believe that was a Your Creative Studio piece that I just have had forever. And so I just am kind of creating a little cluster over there on the left side. I was trying to sort of make that seam look a little bit better, where those two the ledger paper and the other paper kind of met. And then I added a little word sticker there from the Tim Holtz pack, and that was the end of that. We'll just use that as a journaling card or a pocket or something. And then I had this other piece, again, this is from a 6x6 paper pad, and I just didn't want to have to try to get it back into the paper pad, and it was just kind of floating around my craft space. So I'm going to take this one corner here in the bottom where that beautiful rose is, and kind of use that as the focal point for this tag that I'm making. I can always go back through and add something to this if I want to. Again, I'm using another label here from the Junk Journal Studio, just to kind of balance this just a little bit up here at the top. But I can always add to this if I want to, but this could go very easily just like it is into a journal. So I'm just trying to create some ephemera for some journals that I want to work on. And these big, ginormous flashcards also came from a House of Books, and I was struggling with kind of what to do with them because they're just big, and I don't really typically do journals that are super large. I've done a couple just recently. A couple of my fall journals were a little bit bigger, but even folded in half, I didn't feel like they were going to be the right size. They were just really, really long. So I just went ahead and folded it in half and then cut it so that, because literally I can't even get to my paper trimmer. So I just cut it on the bottom, so that I could make just a smaller journaling card, or I might make it into a tuck spot. I'm not quite sure. I know which journal this is going to go into. This is probably going to go into my prayer journal, or into just one of the other journals that I have going, a personal journal. And so there are some scriptures that I want to include on the back of this particular card, because I found this little tag that said trust. And so it says, this is trust. I'm going to put a couple of scriptures on the back of that I want to remember, and then this will go into one of those journals, or even maybe into my Bible. But there's just some things that I want to note, and so this one is the only one I really like have a specific purpose for in creating it the way that I'm doing it today. So I'm just using another one of those sheets of paper just to trim kind of along the bottom, just to add some interest there. And then I had this fun paper. This is some shorthand paper, and it's super, super thin. So instead of using my liquid glue, because I didn't want it to get kind of lumpy, I'm using a glue stick. I use Yoo-hoo when I'm trying to do like collages, especially with thinner type papers. And so I'm just adding this down along the bottom, and I'll probably turn this into a tag, I think. But anyway, as I was doing this, then I kind of realized I want whatever paper that I add to this at the top to really go behind the other paper. So I'm just going to kind of, before this dries, I'm just going to pull that top section up so that I can layer the next page behind it. And I ended up pulling one of the printables this is from the fall collage and cluster Megapack from the Junk Journal Studio. And this was just a little scrap that I had. Then I pulled out a few different things from my stash. That one long label on the right side is from, I believe that one is from Your Creative Studio, and then the others are from the Junk Journal Studio. So this is actually a sticker, and the other two pieces are from those ephemera packs. So you can kind of see I have some other things kind of off to the side there. But this was the cluster that I kind of decided on. It took me a few minutes, actually. This one, I was kind of just stumbling through this one. But in the end, I like how it turned out. But just kind of trying to get pieces so that they looked cohesive on this particular thing. And I will use this, I believe, as a journaling card. You can kind of see, I'm just going to hold these up so you can see what I created today. So anyway, if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if a video of kind of seeing some random makes of things that are just kind of on my desk would be helpful to you or interesting. I would appreciate that feedback, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.